Hi, in this video I'm just going to give you a general overview of the desk and just show you where each component of the desk is, and I'll talk very briefly about what it does. So here you have an individual channel strip. It's got a fader for controlling its level, a mute, a solo and a select button. There are 16 channels here, and then these buttons control which page you're on. So page 1 has channels 1 to 16, page 2 has channels 17 to 32. So there's 32 channels in total, and you move between them with these buttons. This button here lets you control your aux inputs, which are jack inputs on the back of a desk, and there are also 4 stereo effects return channels here. And then you also have your bus masters page underneath that. Right, up here we have our control panels. This panel controls gain, phantom power and phase, as well as low cut, which is used for taking low frequencies out of a signal. And on each of these control panels you can hit the view button to bring up the corresponding page on the screen. So here, these two panels are your dynamics. So you've got gates and compressors, and they're used to control the dynamics of a signal. EQ can add or remove frequencies from a signal. Your bus send is here, which can send a signal to a bus. This recorder panel lets you hit record, and you can record to a USB stick. This panel here lets you send a signal to the left-right bus, and also to a mono bus, which we don't tend to use. Okay, moving on to this side of the desk, we have the first layer here is your DCA groups, and they're used for controlling sets of channels. So this one is all of the drums, for example. Then you also have bus masters, which is sort of a mirror of this, just in 8 channels rather than 16. So I've got 1 to 8 here, 9 to 16 here, and then I have 6 matrix channels underneath that, which we also don't tend to use on a Sunday. Over here we have the monitor control panel, which controls your headphone level. And we don't tend to use a monitor, but if you had a wedge next to you, you can control that here. This is a talkback control panel, which allows you to talk from a mic into all of the buses at once, so you can talk to all of your band from the sound desk. This panel here is for loading, saving, and recalling scenes. And you'd use that right at the beginning of your show to record the default flat scene. This panel here is assignable controls, so you can tell these buttons to do whatever you want. So here, for example, we have a tap tempo for controlling a delay. And down here, finally, we have our mute groups, which we also don't tend to use, but you can assign banks of channels to these mutes. And then very last, we have our left-right bus, which is used for sending stereo signal to your speakers. Okay, so that was a whirlwind tour through the desk. In the next couple of videos, we'll look at each individual panel and go into more depth in how to use them and how they can be beneficial to you.